thing. I am working from both, so we do have a bit of a hybrid model. I was at the MGH today seeing patients and doing a mix of in-person and virtual, and I'm back in my home office now with this virtual background.
I know, this is so fancy. I should have worked on something, tropical, or maybe somewhere, really fabulous.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time and talking with us. And of course, this is going to be cut down to a very short 2-minute video. And what I'll do is I will just briefly introduce you, myself, the society, you, and then go right into the questions.
Okay.
If that's good.
That's perfect.
All right. Great. Well, I have to remember what my intro line is.
That's okay. And just so you know, I have the questions. I have a little sheet with some cheat notes, and I have the way you sent them. So if you could ask me in that order, that would be best.
Oh, you want me to ask you in the exact order?
Well, I don't have to in the exact, but don't throw me off where I'm trying to shuffle here.
Okay, I'm not going to change the order, but I kind of paraphrase some of the questions. So the answer is going to be the same.
That's okay. Okay. No worries.
So for everyone who is here listening to this brief update from one of our friends, Seattle Sperm Bank, represented by Courtney Maddox, we are going to talk a little bit about the 5 key questions for the pandemic. And I might only share 3 of these questions, but Courtney, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself, Seattle Sperm Bank, and where you are right now.
Yeah, so I'm Courtney Maddox. I'm the Clinic Relations Manager for Seattle Sperm Bank, and I actually live on the East Coast. So I'm based in Charlotte, North Carolina. Okay. And, before all this started, I was bouncing around seeing clinics all over the country. But now I have set up the East Coast office of Seattle Sperm Bank, and we are going strong here in Charlotte every day from my kitchen counter.
Well, that is wonderful. So on to the first question. What is the greatest challenge for you, either personally or for the sperm bank during the pandemic?
I think just in the beginning, it was such a complete unknown. We had no idea what was going on. Our industry's, of course, never been through anything like this. So it was really just a scramble, kind of in the beginning, figure out what was going to be going on. So we sort of assessed, how can we keep our staff safe? What are we going to be doing with them every day? How do we keep our donors safe? Can they continue to come in? So we had to stop that for a little bit. What are the immediate needs of the clinic? What are those going to be looking like? Many clinics were starting to close or shift hours, and everyone's transitioning. So we had to get a hold of that. And then, for the patient perspective, how can we ease the stress of all of this going on in their life in the middle of them trying to go through fertility treatments? So I think if you could call us lucky at all, we were a little ahead of the game because Seattle was actually, a hotbed, one of the first hotbeds in the country for the pandemic. So it really forced us to make a plan really early and kind of gave us a little extra time to get our, plan together before the majority of the clinics started closing.
Well, that sounds like you had a little bit of a head start. This question is off book, and for maybe the younger members, the fellows, can you share a little bit about who are the sperm donors geographically for Seattle Sperm Bank? Where do you recruit from?
Yeah, so we have 3 lab locations. So our main lab is located there in Seattle, and it's right by the University of Washington. Then we have another lab in Phoenix, Arizona, right by Arizona State. And then last summer, we actually opened up a 3rd lab location in San Diego, right in La Jolla. So it's by UC San Diego. And so great locations to recruit diverse donors. Obviously, we pull a lot from the colleges and the medical schools that are there in the area. So it's going to be interesting coming into this fall with, more virtual learning happening, and, are people going to be back on campus? Are they not? And sort of managing how that's going to go. So, we're really trying to pivot as well to focus on more young professionals. Our donors are between 18 and 39. So, we do have those young professional guys that are maybe looking for an additional income to help supplement, either their hobbies or school or, whatever that they may be funding. So, we really pull from those 3 cities though.
So I'm hearing not much East Coast sperm.
We don't. No, we're strictly on the West Coast now. Although I'm trying to nudge them to open up a lab location over here.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing all of that. So we'll go to the second scripted question. What, if any, is a silver lining during this pandemic?
So any kind of catastrophic event, I think, really forces you to look at your business from every angle. And we've obviously learned a ton from this experience. And don't stop the desire for people to want to grow their families, or women with, diminished ovarian reserve, from that slowing down. So we kind of focused on a couple buckets to keep our business going, right? So we made sure that our shipping team was in every day. We never missed a day. We wanted to give the clinics, the confidence that they were going to be able to depend on us. We were there. We could still get tanks to them on time. And then from a patient perspective, to really handhold their experience and say, okay, your treatment's going to be delayed. We're going to extend free storage for you right off the bat to make sure that we could take a little bit of that pressure, because a lot of people weren't financially budgeting in storage for an additional 3 or 4 months while we were kind of waiting to see what was going to happen. And then something else kind of blossomed out of this, which we really weren't expecting. And that's patients that are wanting to continue their journey at home using at-home insemination. Although it was a part of our business, it really kind of blossomed into a whole nother segment for us. And we've always, made sure that patients are working with, their fertility clinic or a licensed medical practitioner to sign off that this is medically sound and safe for them to do this. So I think the virtual consultations really helped patients and clinicians kind of come together and keep journeys moving, especially for those, those women that didn't have any known fertility issues and were just wanting to do donor insemination. So
that's amazing. Yeah, that is definitely an amazing silver lining. We might see an increase in the birth rates after the pandemic. We'll have to, keep our eye out for the at-home and
the COVID boom. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Do you think that because of the pandemic and the challenges that have ensued and kind of some of the innovation that you've just mentioned, do you think there will be any lasting change in strategy or any wisdom that you or the company has gained from this?
Yeah, I think there's no doubt that we've pivoted into more of a virtual world now, both from the patient clinic side for doing virtual consultations, and then for us as a business to be able to provide virtual documents or materials look a lot different, right? Our support systems to the clinics look different in some ways. But I think one of the coolest things that I've seen come out of this is that it really sort of, for us, forced us to really focus on our online presence, and social media being such a big part of that. And I think Instagram specifically started booming for our industry. And all these clinics and physicians started coming on there and really collaborating with our collective knowledge and, doing webinars or Instagram lives together. And a lot of conversations started happening every day, all day. And we got to be a part of a lot of those, and we learned a lot of those. So I think it's something exciting, and I know it's something that patients are really benefiting from, and being able to just receive information about their fertility journey in a different way.
That's an amazing, pivot. And it seems that the online world, the virtual world, will be with us for the foreseeable future, after the pandemic is long gone. I'm going to kind of paraphrase the last 2 questions, but Simply put, what do you miss the most about the pre-pandemic world?
Well, I'm sure other people have said this, but I just miss people. I miss all the relationships that I've made at clinics all across the country. I miss waking up at a Hilton Garden Inn at 8 a.m. and throwing on some dress pants and going to see my friends in the lab. So, as nice as it's been to wake up and have my coffee and get straight to work. I miss the relationship piece of this because I think so much really happens and so much collaborative work can really be fostered when you see people face to face. So I miss that. I miss going to conferences like NEFS. The May conference was always one of my favorites, and it's always been a fabulous place. And so I'll look forward to being out and about with everybody soon.
Well, same here, and I feel like you are echoing the sentiments of all of us.
Yes.
And what has been, to summarize and paraphrase the last question, what has been kind of the wisdom or insight that you will take through, the next piece of and leg of this pandemic and beyond? I also call it, what's your favorite kind of pandemic hack or workaround? If you're thinking along those lines.
Yeah, I think change is inevitable, right? There's always can be a shift in the economy, or maybe a competitor comes in and sort of shakes up your world. So, I think what we learned as a company is that if you have the right people on the team and you've got hardworking, committed people sort of on the bus, if you have to shift people's seats around on the bus, you're going to be able to roll with it a lot easier if you've got the right people there. And for us, we all really, kind of reprioritize what our strengths were. We shifted around a little bit to make sure, these new challenges and new immediate needs were met. And everyone really came together. So I think what it forced us to recognize is that, we do have a second wave. If it is a time where maybe clinics are going to have to halt again for reasons of their own market, that we're going to be ready for it. We're going to have a little bit of a plan this time, and everybody's going to kind of know the game plan. Where last time we were just scrambling from day one. So I think
we've got a game plan for the next pandemic. If there ever is one, the next natural disaster, we know how to roll with it. I think that's a great insight.
Yeah. Well, we always thought in Seattle, like, what if we have a major earthquake? And that's kind of been our big contingency plan. Like, what do we do to our tanks? How long will they hold?
Yes.
Systems, all that kind of stuff. But this one came out of nowhere.
Most certainly. And is there anything else you'd like to share with the society, its members, and anyone associated?
Long-term supporters of NEFS, and we really value the relationships that we have through you guys, and the support and the materials that you're able to share with us. So we're just happy to be a part and love being in the mix with everyone up there.
Thank you so much. The feeling is obviously mutual. Thank you so much for your support, your unique presence during the pandemic. It's been hard, and we appreciate your friendship and unwavering support during this time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And thanks for getting to talk to us today. This is a good time.
This is very fun. I wish everyone would join us like this. So you'll
call anytime. I'm here all by myself. So I'm willing to chit chat.
Fantastic. We'll plan something again, maybe IG Live with any.
Yes.
How about that?
Let's do it.
Okay, sounds wonderful. Thank you, Courtney. I'll stop recording, and take care.
Yay, thank you so much. Everything's good with you, though? I know you're slammed.
Everything's great. It's been a whirlwind. I in my role as the president-elect, I think we'll do some more virtual things. I'm trying to figure out what we can do to engage online. If you have any ideas, or if you want to brainstorm offline, I would love that.
Yeah. Well, please let us know. I mean, we're kind of flying at the seat of our pants over here. And also what I've learned is you really can't mess it up. We've seen kind of the full gamut of everybody.